Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I'd like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks." So today's topic is, drumroll please, 2025 in review. Yay! So I always love doing this video because, as you know, in recent years, all year I do 3 different 8 parts. So this is where like I get to tell you what happened this past year with me, because I feel like I don't really get to talk about that. So I'm gonna try to make it fast because a lot has happened. But 2024, as you know, that's the year that I moved into this building. I live in Manhattan Plaza. So fortunate and blessed. So 2025. So I'd already been here going on a year. So let's see. Let's start with physical therapy. I have been through like every physical therapy. This year, I kind of feel like I'm 60 and I'm like, shit, I'm falling apart. It's like I have physical therapy on my left shoulder, my right elbow, my rotator cuff, and my tennis elbow, all both activated and got really worse at the same time. I had dealt with both of these things before in the past years ago, but no, it's like all of a sudden it was very difficult and to do much of anything. So I wasn't able to go to the gym. And then, when you're used to going to the gym regularly, then all of a sudden you feel fat and out of shape. And even though I'm not necessarily like fat or out of shape, you definitely feel like you're not as tight. So uh, that went on for like months, like for 4 or 5 months. And then I ended up getting physical therapy on my neck. I finally finished that, and now I am currently getting it on my lower back because that's been acting up. I think all the years of dancing, high heels, working retail, and that somehow has even affected like my foot because you have those nerves to shoot all the way down. Anyway, it's been a mess, but good news is I've been working on it. So this year has been a year also of like being that much more aware of the things going on. As you get older, things change and you address it and just make the best of it. So that's it. And the physical therapy on my lower back, I just started that literally like a week or two ago. So it's fine, but it's like it's pretty much started since like the beginning of the year. It's been a nonstop thing. Anyway, but apart from that, as you know, I sing in the choir here in Manhattan Plaza. That's been great. But then I recently, about a month and a half ago, joined the second choir because I love the choir here, but I see where I don't want to say it has its limitations, but people are in it for different reasons, with all of which are fine and great. But I wanted to join another choir in addition to this one because this one reminded me how much I enjoy singing in choirs. But then I also know, like, I take it to seriously to the point where, like, I want to perform. I want to know the notes. I want to be able to show up and sing and enjoy it. So the second choir that I joined on West End and 77 here in Manhattan, I missed like the first 2 months of rehearsing. I found out about it very late in the game, not till November. But knock on wood, I caught up and it was great. And we just had a performance a couple of weeks ago, and it's about 50 or 60 of us in this choir. And these people are professional, where like they can sight sing. I admit my sight singing is not what it was, but just the month that I was with them, uh, helped my sight singing a lot, actually. So we did the performance with the full orchestra. It was amazing. We did the Many Moods of Christmas by Robert Shaw. Some of you were there. Actually, I had about close to 40 people show up for me to see it. So, and I was just happy that people were able to experience it because it felt magical being a part of it. So I could just imagine being in the audience and witnessing it, again, full orchestra, full choir in a beautiful church that the acoustics were incredible. So it was a stellar evening. So, and then speaking of performing, Nora Burns, hey Nora, whose show in 2024 we did like 3 or 4 times in different theaters, Candy Camera Live. This year, at the beginning of this year, she did something called New York Stories, which I was a part of, where it's like 8 of us, and we went up there and we told told a New York story, and the topic was celebrity encounters. So I went up there, did my did my spiel and spoke about meeting Leslie Jordan, God rest his soul, and it was a lot of fun. But in addition to that, then in August, September, she did another show, Denim on Denim, which was like a spoof on like a 80s variety show dealing with denim jeans, because in the 80s, as we know, denim jeans were popular. Jordache, Sassoon, Sergio Valente, all of those. So it was all of these like cute spoofy things and production numbers, and the show was like an hour long, and then they had me doing Brooke Shields. Nothing comes between me and my Calvins, and that was, I think that was like the last number, the next to last number. It was also, we put it together so quickly. It's like she was like, Fiona, you around? Blah blah blah. Yeah, oh great, we're doing a show, and it's like 2 weeks later I think we had like 2 rehearsals, and so I did, and Adam, who was the director, said to me, Fiona, when you do your thing, when you do your Brooke Shields, that's the only time throughout the entire show where it's only you on stage and there is no music playing on the back in the background, but no pressure. Anyway, it was a lot of fun doing that. So I got to perform again. I don't know if we'll do it again. I hope so, because it was really cute. And she has a way, whenever she does a show, of them asking her, other theaters will then ask her to do it. So again and again. So fingers crossed. So that was really good. Between the two choirs and those couple of shows, it's definitely kept me busy. These things going on with myself and people around me too. Like, I don't want this to be a Debbie Downer thing, but in addition to my own physical stuff, there's been loved ones, close friends, family members who are kind of going through other things and medical things. So all of that, I feel, as you all know, I'm the caregiver to both my parents, who have been together like 67 years. I think they're like 94 and 87. And, when people get to that age, things start to happen, things start to fall apart. Your health is in question. So it's not only my parents, but other people as well. So that was a little overwhelming. But this year, more than ever, I have found myself telling myself, remember, the universe only throws you away what it knows you can handle. And I sit here and think, okay, universe, life, can you at least use lubricant? Because sometimes, honey, it's too much. And I even think to myself, as much as I believe that thought, sometimes it gets a little harder to keep that faith, but it's okay. And then, last but not least, we've been living in this world with all this political bullshit. And I don't, I've always said with my social media, I don't like to get too political, and I really don't. I'm aware of what's going on. I think there's a lot of things going on that are fucked up. I think this administration is corrupt, and there's a whole lot of shit that they shouldn't be doing, but somehow they manage to get away with it. Gone are the days when you think, oh, that can't happen, because legally, like, certain things are not like allowed to happen, but yet they do. And you reach a point where you just, you want to throw your hands up in the air. And I know you're not supposed to give up, and we're supposed to stand up and fight and persevere, and all of that's all good and all. I just, that on top of everything else, this year has been a uh, little crazier, just in terms of all of that. And it's had my mental plate very, very full. So I found myself thinking, even like the last month was magical, because with the both choirs that I'm in, then suddenly I was performing twice a week. And then the last 3 weeks had a different choir performance once a week, on top of like all these other things. So my cup runneth over, honey, but it's been great. I got through it, and I couldn't wait till Christmas, not because, I never want to wish time away, but because the last month has been so busy doing all these great things, I almost couldn't wait for it to all be done, so that there could be that sense of accomplishment and to say I got through it, and it's, was great, and it was successful, and all of that did happen. So I don't necessarily view that as like wishing the time away versus just, looking forward to saying, yes, I did it, I succeeded, especially with that second choir, because I missed 2/3 of the rehearsals. I had a lot of catching up to do, and it was not easy music, but I persevered and I challenged myself to do it. And I think that's what keeps me up and running. So, all right, guys. So the year is over. This is it for now. I will do another video in a couple of weeks. 2026 preview. This is 2025 review. And then I will scope out what I'm going to do. Which, I have a lot of thoughts about that too that but I don't want to get into that. We'll save that for the next video. But I have found myself also saying at certain times, I feel like I'm at a little bit of a crossroads with certain things. So got a lot of thinking to do. All right, guys, don't forget thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. I love you. All my social media is Fiona St. James. The Saint is not spelled out ST. Instead of spelling it out, no period after the T. It's also where you could get my book, The Life and Crimes of Fiona St. James. All right, guys, love you so much. Thank you for being here and enjoy the rest of the year and stay safe and healthy.